What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us on another episode for Walking Manifestator. I'm your host, Alexa Peña, and in today's episode, I want to talk to you about some key components that are going to help you in your manifestation journey. Now, visualizing to materialize is a key step in your growth in order for you to truly start seeing external circumstances change for the better. Now, arguably, they can also change for the worse if that is what you're focusing on. So today I'm going to share with you 5 key components that you should be implementing in order for you to get better at visualizing. If you're anything like me, I would hear people talk about visualization and I would think like, all I think about when I close my eyes is like pitch black. And a lot of the times people can relate to this because they're like, well, I'm not really a visual person. I'm more of an auditory person, or I'm more of a kinesthetic person. There's different ways to really tap into that visualization that's going to help you start becoming the creator of your reality. Now, I also want to share with you something that recently happened, and I found this was a perfect time to talk about it because it was very sad, and at the same time, it was very eye-opening with the mission and the mission statement that I personally believe Walking Manifestator stands for. So recently, I had to let go of one of my assistants. Unfortunately, it wasn't really working out with us. The workload, it was kind of making her fall behind. And at one point, she had an assistant that was helping her with the job that she had with me as my assistant. And gradually, as that person left, she fell behind and things just didn't work out. Now, I share this with you because I believe that you should give people the opportunity and the benefit of the doubt and try and help them and become a better leader. But at the same time, there's certain situations where you need to cut your losses and walk and know when to move on. So that's what happened in that situation. I decided I needed to let go of her. I started looking for a new assistant. And I had this person that I basically thought would be a perfect fit. Her energy, her attitude, her skill set, everything was just great. And I share this because as we started working together, she was going to be working with me for a week as a probationary period. And then after the week, we were going to decide whether or not this was going to be something that we both felt comfortable in and that I saw her really, taking advantage of and growing in, and her also feeling comfortable. Well, 2 days in, she did a great job. She finished the reels that I needed from her. She did all the job that I had asked her for. And then from one day to the next, I don't hear anything from her, which was really weird. I was like, we're doing great. Like, why? I mean, she actually completed work. So if anything, I would have expected her to, let me know, hey, I'm not interested anymore, whatever it would have been. But she actually just ghosted me. So I was like, what happened? So anyways, I'm waiting for her to text me. Maybe, she had something happen to her or whatever it might have been. And in that meantime, I had another person that was also under a probationary period. And this other person tells me, Alexa, it's been great working with you. You're amazing. And I really understand the content that you're pushing out there. Unfortunately, it goes against my congregation. And they will not allow me to participate in the world of manifestations. And I am telling you, when I saw that message, it did 2 things. One of them, like I said earlier, it made me feel really sad. It made me feel really sad because I was like, wow, this is what it's come down to, where I am going to wrong you for not believing in the exact thing that, again, I believe in, or wrong you for basically not believing in the same thing that I believe in, therefore causing conflict. And the second thing that really pulled at my heartstrings was, this is exactly why it's important for us to take power and to really start understanding who we really are. For the longest time, we have been conditioned to just believe that you should just pray and ask God to give you all the tools that you need and essentially hope that things are going to get better. However, what if God gave you all the tools that you needed and gave you all the opportunities that you needed and gave you the ability to imagine and create your reality to such a degree that you are a creator of this life that you live in? And it's like asking your parents for more money when they already gave you the opportunity to work at the family business. And they're looking at you like, my guy, I gave you all the tools you need. Make it happen. And I just thought, it really inspired me to go further into the mission of Walking Manifestator. The reason I believe that Walking Manifestator is something that more people can benefit from is because it's not talking about the brand as the unique feature. It's more so helping the person understand that you are the unique feature. You are the unique part of this equation. And the more that we can start diving into understanding how powerful and how blessed we really are, the more we're able to live a life of coherency, the more we're able to feel fulfilled, the more we're able to actually find our life's purpose. And when she said that to me, I told her, you know what? I completely respect it. I wish nothing but the best for you. I told her, send me your information so I can compensate you for the last work that you did. And it really reminded me of how divided as a society we are because of religion. You see, there's a difference between religion and spirituality. And for the longest time, I've shared, for those of you that have listened to our first podcast, I shared a little bit about my story. I was somebody that grew up in a Catholic family with my grandparents. So they were very much into, worshiping, God and worshiping the Virgin Mary and going to church. And as I had all these things happen in my life that really caused a lot of turbulence for me internally, emotionally, a bunch of just things that I was not happy with, it turned me away from that religious perspective. And it turned me away to such a degree that I didn't want to hear it. If you talk to me about religion, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, here we are. We're doing this again. However, in that path of not knowing where I was going, I gave a complete 180. And I found myself in this balance of understanding that you can be a spiritual person without being a religious person. I don't need to go to church in order for me to be one with God and for me to practice gratitude and for me to practice appreciation and for me to pray and be thankful for all the blessings that I have. I also believe I don't have to wrong somebody else because of their perspective and because of what they believe in, simply not being in alignment with the exact things that I believe in. I found myself in this journey really of understanding myself better, of loving myself better, of really becoming that version of myself that in my mind, I always hoped I could live to see. And why am I sharing this? Because this episode is titled Visualize to Materialize, right? It just made me understand that until we go to the basics of really understanding how much power you hold, you're never truly going to materialize the things in your external reality to the degree that you can. You see, I was reading one of my books, my journals from when I was a little girl, and I'm going to insert a photo for you guys for you to see, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to it, then just click on the link and you can go check it out. But I literally wrote this when I was 8 years old, and I was nine. And I wrote on this journal that I wanted to have a house because at this point I didn't have a house. We were living in a storage room and we didn't have money. So I really just wanted to have the bare essentials. I just wanted to be able to say I had a house and I just wanted to be happy. That was what I wanted, right? And it's crazy how when I wrote that out, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I was a 9-year-old. I did not comprehend the things that my 8-year-old now comprehends. And as I wrote that out, I remember I was crying when I actually wrote that, thinking back at it, those memories where sometimes you're like, oh, I remember what I was doing. I remember that okay. So I remember, being sad about what I didn't have and thinking what I wanted and focusing on the fact that I just knew it was going to be taken care of. In that moment, I was asking God, I was like, can you please give me the tools that I need? I just want to take care of my family and I just want to have a house. And it's crazy how fast forward to now that I'm 27 years old, I own real estate. I have an Airbnb. I have generated over 6 figures, going to 7 figures in my business. And I say this from the most humble part of my being because I truly believe that you have the power to create anything you want. But until you take that ownership of that power that you have, which is in your imagination, and until you become aware of the true magnificent being that you are, you will forever seek something external to feel that validation. You will forever pray to something external to help you in that journey. But yet, what if you already have everything within you to manifest that into the life of your dreams, into what you truly want? So when I was thinking about that situation with this person, I was like, wow, she just lost an opportunity in really something that was going to help her in her journey, because she's starting off, she's from the Philippines, she doesn't have a lot of income, and the opportunity she was going to receive with me was going to financially help her. But yet religion made it to such a degree where now you should not work with this person simply because this person is teaching you to believe in yourself and in your mindset and how you're able to create things and how you are blessed and you have these powers within you. So today, when we talk about visualizing and how you can create visualizing in order to materialize in this world, I want you to really understand that you have the power. And I want you to start understanding how everything that you have around you, just think about it, the table in front of you, or the car that you're in, or the purse that you're using, everything once was started with a thought. You cannot argue that. Everything began with a thought. Therefore, if we take that logic of understanding that everything started with a thought, then we can argue the fact that you have the ability to create positive, or you have the ability to create negative. You see, when you're in this negative energy, all you're going to do is you're going to attract more of that energy. And it's unfortunate because sometimes life will test you because it wants to see how you're really growing. And sometimes, even though you've been doing good, it might feel like bad things are still happening, but it's actually making room for those opportunities that are right around the corner to really flourish. However, if you're so consumed with the negative, you won't recognize the positive, even if it hits you right in the face. So understanding visualizing and understanding manifestations is a huge step in your journey by understanding the true power that you hold. Now, another thing I want to share with you today is going to be some key steps for you to understand how you can truly manifest by becoming aware of that image in your mind. Now, step number one is to get very clear on your vision. Just like what I did with that journal, I was very specific as to what I wanted. I was very intentional with the fact that I wanted a house, and I was very intentional with the fact that I wanted the bare essentials. And ironically, by becoming aware of that, I brought that into my existence. I brought that into my energy. And therefore, the universe, God, all of the above, gave the path in order for those things to happen. When we talk about creating that clear vision, you want to get very specific about the details of how that vision looks like, right? Sometimes you say, I want more money. Okay, you want more money. Does $1 suffice? Does $2 suffice? Does $10 suffice? Be very specific as to what you want. And I use money as an example because I feel like that's something that when you're in this growth from like the 3D to like the 4D reality growth, you're going to realize that money is simply a bypass of focusing on your true desired outcome. I'm going to say that again. Money is simply a bypass of you focusing on your real desired outcome. So if I focus on helping more people, and I focus on doing it from a place of integrity and a place of love and abundance and truly caring for that person, money is simply going to happen. There's no ands, ifs, or but about it, because I am actually providing value. Therefore, the law of compensation states that what I am putting out is directly going to come back. We've been taught to have this scarcity mentality where we think there's not enough money, there's not enough houses, there's not enough. And that's actually lowering your vibration. A lot of the times people focus on watching the news and watching all these blogs about all the negative things that are happening. And honestly, I would beg to differ in focusing more so on what you can impact and what you can help, because this is how you're going to be able to truly help more people that are in need. Money is simply a tool. I would much rather subscribe to something like Project Railroad, where I'm sending them money to help with the trafficking of children versus sitting at my computer looking at all the cases that are unfortunately happening around the world and not doing anything about it, and just submerging myself in all this negative information that is not helping me. You have two ways to go about it. You choose which one is going to benefit you and others the most. Now, number two is finding a quiet space. But honestly, for me personally, at this point in my life, I have started to really just visualize, even when I'm driving, when I'm cooking, when I'm doing something, I visualize it to a degree where now if I am walking, I am constantly thinking about that positive outlook in life, even when things feel like they're not ideal. So really taking time to start maybe in a quiet place will help you. But I'm telling you, the more you do it, the easier it's going to be for you to start learning how to become aware of what you're focusing on, because you got clear. And now really the whole being in a quiet room won't be a factor. But as you're starting off, definitely give it a try. Now, number three is using all your senses. When I talk about using all your senses, what I mean is close your eyes, visualize what you want, act as if you are in that moment and feel it with your senses. How does it feel to grab your best friend's hand as you shake it and you say, I did it. I accomplished this dream that I had. I got the promotion. I got my kid into that school. I got that new car. I got that new house. I developed myself and I healed myself. Visualize it to the degree of using all of your senses. This is going to really help you ensure that you can tap into the fourth component, which is adding emotion. You see, most of us have been conditioned to believe that in order for you to have something happen, in order for you to be happy, you need to have the event happen first and then you're happy. Well, it's actually the opposite. The moment you become happy of something to such a degree, that event is automatically now in your energy field, which is going to allow you to bring that into fruition a lot quicker versus you expecting to get happy after you get the thing. And if you think about it, how many times has it happened where you bought that new thing and then literally like a week later, you're not even excited about it. You're over it. That is because you have actually conditioned yourself to the point where your mind has found that gratification and now it's not as exciting. The endorphin levels have gone down and you're like, you can actually learn how to start rising those endorphin levels in order for you to really be happy even before that end desired comes. And honestly, one of the best ways is to smile. Simple as that. Smiling and talking about what it is that brings you joy will do that exact for you. Okay. Now, number 5, and this is the most important one, that is practicing regularly. Practicing is extremely important. It's just like anything. You can't expect to go to the gym one time and get buff. You can't expect to eat healthy once and be with the best summer body. You can't expect to read one book one time and memorize everything. It takes time. And the best thing you can do is start actively becoming aware of what it is that you're telling yourself. What is the story you are feeding yourself? What is the paradigm that you are believing? With that being said, I want to leave you with this very interesting quote by Blake, and it says, "Man is all imagination. God is man and exists in us, and we in him. The eternal body of man is the imagination that is God himself." My friends, your imagination is so powerful. And if you can start tapping into that walking manifestator that you are, I promise you, the sky is the limit. And I promise you that your life is going to dramatically change as you continue to embark in that healing and in that growth journey of yours. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments, questions, please feel free to let us know. I appreciate all of your support. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day.